What is your biggest fear? Why are you paralyzed? What makes you nervous to just go out there and just be who you are and do what you have to do? You had nobody anyway, motherfucker. We're not able to think. The most powerful weapon in the world, we walk around with it. It's our mind. It's our brain. You have to be able to go into a very dark place in your mind and figure who you are. Go back to what you want to do. What's your purpose? We can't figure our purpose out or why we're here or why we're even born or whatever because it's so loud in our mind. We don't have any quiet time with ourselves to sit back and say, what do I really want? There's so many different dialogues in our head that we can't think. So my biggest thing is you have to be alone in a very dark place in your mind to think about what is important to you. You can fucking achieve the absolute impossible. You don't need great parents. You don't need like a private school. You don't need to have this humongous GPA and all this other shit. What you need is the one thing I talked about in my book, which is straight up brutal work ethic. There's no hacks, bro. It's you against you. You against you. And if you miss up, pretty soon you win. Pretty soon you'll fucking win. If you have the courage and the heart and the dedication and the mindset about everybody can go fuck themselves. I know what I know. I've listened to myself enough to know I know what I know. In the battle, you find peace. When you go to war with yourself, you find a lot of peace. It's because you know exactly who you are. And that is where the peace is really found for me. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. Every day I walk this earth and I see average all over the fucking place. Know that if you have big goals and big dreams, along the way, failure is going to happen. So how fast do you get up from that? And you got to teach yourself that. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab. But guess what happens? That alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. It's drained. I don't want to be a SEAL today. I don't want to be whatever today. I'll start tomorrow. You hate me because you're probably in the bed right now. You're probably an underachiever. You're probably somebody who doesn't want to do anything with your life. So I make you question everything about yourself. One thing I did wrong in my life was I tried for so many years to please people. And I did it at the expense of myself. I was leaving a lot in the tank. And when you do that, you stop living. And I had to stop thinking normal. I had to stop thinking normal. I can no longer be a common man walking around doing common things. But no one taught me this stuff. It wasn't like I paid a trainer to come train me. Jenny Craig didn't come down and miracle my ass. None of this happened. It was on me. I became obsessed. I became obsessed with being the baddest motherfucker that God ever created. Am I that? I don't care. I believe it. And I was trying to tell him, once you become obsessed with something, obsessed, it's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say, you got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. I don't look at anything as failure. Because when you're willing to try to do something, not trying is failure. That's not some after school special shit. But when you're able to go out there is no failure. It's attempts. Because when you're trying to do something that's bigger than you, whatever you are, whoever you are, if you're paralyzed, you're trying to walk one step and you didn't fail, motherfucker. That was your first attempt. If that's your biggest thing, that's how your mindset needs to go into everything. So I don't look at it as failure is a big word like that gets people down and shit. We give so much power to words. I don't. No one's gonna miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me nigger, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now. It's solely on me. In 2013, people wanted me to write my book. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt. To be at the point of your life where you don't care about being judged. You can be in a room of 1 million people and they all hate you. And you walk in and you go like this. Not because you're angry at them, because you know yourself. Inside and out. And you know that you've put yourself through hell to be where you're at today. You've walked the walk. You've talked the talk. And you've walked the walk. And that's to me what it's all about. You have to make the decision whether you want to be a badass or whether you just want to be mediocre and everything's okay. A good painter will not just paint. He needs to create. And you can't create with phones and everything going around you. So you got to block yourself off. You only do 2 podcasts in a year. You block yourself off and you're painting this thing inside, and you're going through all these different colors of paint and everything else. And you can only figure out the right painting if you spend the correct amount of time in your brain. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of that dark room to face who you are. That's the only way you're going to get over all those things. So basically, a lot of us aren't prepared for life. We get up willy-nilly and just hope life is going to happen. It is going to happen, but it's going to happen with a prepared mind or an unprepared mind. Most people attack life with an unprepared mind. What I do is I try to account for all things that could happen, might happen, probably will happen, and then the unknowns. Whenever you think you can't, confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. It can't be like, hey, I'm gonna knock that shit out. You gotta look over here and say, I can knock that shit out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself. I had to miserably wake up every morning in the cold, because it was Indiana, November when it started. I was miserable. This is your new life. Take it or leave it. There's no happiness about it. There's no peace behind it. It sucks. You gotta live with that. I lived with it for a lot of years. And so I sat back and said, okay, all right, I know what this takes. And when you sit back, as fucked up as I was, and I had a laundry list, a table like this of what I have to do to become just a human being, I understand that guy. I understand exactly where you're coming from. That is your personal opinion, and I totally get that. But there's very few people in this world who want to do a job like that. And it takes a different kind of mindset. Is it tear grass appropriate? I don't know. How hard that training is, I don't expect anybody to understand it, but 1%. But the loud voices of this world are the 99% who don't understand exactly what you have to do. I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth. And I was basically, I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I lived a life so disciplined that everybody, I don't quit. You know, I may not make it the first time, but I'll come back. I got caught on Audible. I gotta fucking get my head back in the game. I gotta figure this shit out. It doesn't mean you leave. It means you study it more. When do you rest? When do you recover?
Yeah.
And I don't want to scare people, but the truth answer is, I don't take any days off. That I turn a person this fucked up into this motherfucker right here. Not off of reading a fucking book off a theorist. Off of going to work on myself and saying, I don't know how to do this, but I know that to get over there to that fucking side, I gotta grind myself into a fucking fine powder. And I did it. If you wanna be great, you wanna be the baddest motherfucker ever at what you do, you're gonna be misunderstood by everybody because you're gonna be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody said balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of fucking people. It is. But if you want to fucking go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you fucking do, you've arrived. You just can't read about it. You can't sit back and be a theorist. You have to be a fucking practitioner. At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that. Are you happy? What's wrong with you? I'm driven. I'm obsessed. And that's what you see. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before. That's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt. How are you gonna feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that shit? Coming from the fucking hell you came from. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these motherfuckers? What if everybody who was fucking way up here started up here, and you started with no legs. You had to grow fucking legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running, and then you start passing people and all this given to them. I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need. For me, I made a decision, and my decision was to be the best person I could. And I basically, a lot of mornings I wake up and say, fuck your feelings. And that doesn't mean like, don't take it literally, fuck your feelings. But sometimes you have to go beyond what you're feeling. And my knees were fucked, but guess what? I wanted to run. I have to change because I can't stay here. I can't. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was defeated. I go, look at myself. I'm like, who am I? So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why because you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering oneself. I had two options: to either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month, and at 24 years old, knowing when I'm 50 fucking years old, I can reflect on this and think about what guy I never became, or I can totally just sack it up and fail and fail and fail until I succeed. Let me teach you the real life, how it really is. The reason why you're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to. You may have a best friend you're going to. But there's 24 hours in a day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kinds of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you're fucked. You got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. But you're also the scientist. Because I'm looking for that person like me. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. So you better figure out who the fuck you are on this journey. And those many people don't like you, so be it. But you first have to figure out you, because a lot of people die with a lot of untapped potential because they're trying to be somebody that they're not. Yeah. So I was able to figure out my own potential by figuring out me. The mind controls everything. So what I realized was that when I was growing up and I was 300 pounds and I got all fat and I got all insecure, I realized that my mind kept taking me in this direction. When things got uncomfortable for me, when I was facing my insecurities, when I was facing my fears, my mind said, oh no, we have the tactical advantage. We just separate you from this feeling. This feeling over here. Life's all about feelings. We want the happy feeling. We don't want that feeling of this sucks. Why am I here? And you don't have any, so you can't answer those questions, so you leave. I started realizing that if in that moment you can answer those fucked up questions and you are now in charge of your brain versus your brain ruling you, that's where all that stuff comes from. So the 40% rule is all of that. You get to 40%, your brain says, we're done. Let's roll, man. This is starting to get painful. This is uncomfortable. So you sit down. You have to figure out ways, and everybody's different. That's how the book kind of talks about, like we all have these things about, 5 steps to this and 4 steps to this. It's a lot more than that. That's all bullshit. It's a practice that you have to, it's a habit. So if you know that at 40%, I'm feeling pain. At 40%, I'm feeling pain. That's where the 40% rule kicks in. Now it starts. Okay, I'm feeling pain. My mind's saying all this shit to me. It's saying, get out of here, run, flee. The fight or flight kicks in. Okay, we're done. We're not good enough. It starts telling you all these things. You start to believe it because the mind controls all. This is the time where you have to gain control back of your mind. It's okay. Let me see if I can go 45%. And once you start giving yourself more and more hope and start realizing, okay, the mind starts to be, okay, what are you doing? We're supposed to be going right and you're going left. you start then controlling your mind. Start finding more in yourself, and it goes from 40% to a lot further than that. But that's the start of it, though. Get to the spot where your mind is saying stop. Wherever that is, you gotta get there first, and then that's when that shit starts to work for you. 30 days ain't gonna do shit for you. The permanent, you wanna make it permanent. Permanent, you start talking about a year, 18 months, 2 years, that's a sacrifice. And when you commit yourself to something for a year, you're not gonna say, oh, I'm gonna let that go. Because in your mind, you have it clear as day. That year took a lot out of me. That year built me. That year started to scrape away all that scar tissue. Started to clean me up. 30 days doesn't clean shit up. 30 days just kind of covers up, put a blanket over it. It's like putting a rug over it. A year, it cleans you up nicely, man. Whatever your problem is, if you can dedicate yourself for a year to something, you can be a changed person. My first question was, okay, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to forgo? Because a lot of people, like this guy came in one time, I was a trainer, and he goes, man, I can stop doing anything but my frappuccinos. I go, fucking leave. Because I'm looking for that person like me. People, it's hard for people to understand how I lost 106 pounds in less than 3 months. I sat down at the table and I said to myself, what are you willing to give up? Everything. And when people come to me with that kind of mindset, I can work with you. When you are willing to strip yourself down to nothing and give everything, that's who I want to work with. Because now I can mold you into exactly who you want to be. When you put these restrictions up, and that's why my first question is, how bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you want to live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people, most people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are? Do you know how to do it? You know exactly how to be you or how to be me. You don't want to do it. So I can't make you do it, and nor do I have the time or energy to force you into that place that I know you have to be to do it. There's no luck in this game, man. It may be a little bit of luck, but the luck happens after you bust your ass and you put yourself in that lucky situation. Luck doesn't happen. You put yourself in that situation where luck might fucking happen. And that's what people don't know. But to get there, luck ain't gonna happen. You have to put yourself in that situation, man. It takes a lot of work.
Because the majority of people think there's no way they could ever do it.
And that's the reason why they can't do it.
There you go.
That's the only reason. They have already put their cap on their success in life. And that's why most people aren't sitting where you're sitting. You're sitting where I'm sitting. You never capped yourself. You might have. And if you did, you took it off.
100%.
People cap themselves. They look at somebody, and because their mind can't imagine it, they then start talking shit. This, he has to be doing this, or has to be doing that. There has to be some trick. There has to be some potion. This is bullshit. No, it's because you cannot allow your mind to open up for the possibility of it can be done, which is why you being people are where they are today.
Yeah.
Because you shackled your mind to have limits. And everybody has a limit, but find it first.
You got a limit?
I haven't found it yet.
I don't think you have.
I haven't found it yet.
It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. I haven't found it yet. I find it at times, but what happens is I then figure out how to get around it, through it, above it, climb over it. So those limits, I'm always, that's what I said, I taught myself how to fail. I'm always skirting on that like limit of like, okay, I'm there. Okay, I failed. But I was right there. What did I miss? What the f- did I miss? Oh, that's what I fucking missed. And then it happens. You know, the one gift I have, with all that being said, what you just said there, is I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds, and I was losing all the fucking weight and shit, I saw myself walking across the fucking stage at 191 fucking pounds. That's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever's gonna take me to do it. I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that fucking certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 fucking pounds. And that feeling, that I was nowhere near that fucking feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every fucking day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is going to feel fucking amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this fucking next 18 months. It took me 18 fucking months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through butts. 18 months, it's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every fucking morning was, I'm gonna put myself through this much fucking pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. It's so fucking worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start the motherfucker to say, how are you going to feel at the end of this? If you start to change your mindset versus it being like, oh my God, this sucks. I became a professional bud student. So I wasn't going to leave until I graduated. So I started realizing if this is my home, this is what I am, I had to always reset the bar. I had to reset my new norm. There always had to be a new norm. So one thing we don't do is we don't have a new norm. My new norm is you get up every fucking morning at 4 o'clock and you suffer. This is your new norm. That became my new fucking life. Most people want to get out of it. I said, no, motherfucker, this is your new life. This is who you are. Your new norm is you wake up and you suffer. And I started realizing if that's my mentality, this ain't hard anymore. Right. Your fucking new norm is you wake up, you get in the fucking cold water, you're gonna be here till this is fucking done. Whenever they say you're out, you get out. So my new norm, so I do that now today. My new norm now is if I'm doing a 200-mile run, your new norm now, man, is you fucking are doing 200 fucking miles.
Talk to me about the cookie jar.
One of the most powerful weapons I have, man, is a cookie jar. In times of need, even the hardest person forgets how badass they are. So I've been through a lot of shit in my life. When you're going through a hard time right now, you forget all the hard you endured. So the cookie jar is a reminder that, oh, I can get through this hard time right now, but you got to take a second or two to reach into the mental cookie jar. Let's say it's a fortune cookie, but in my mind, my mom used to buy these cookies, in the cookie jar, and it was an Oreo, Chips Ahoy, whatever. That's where I got the cookie jar from. But you got to open it up and say, okay, man, I was in 3 hell weeks, and I got through 2 of them. I was in Ranger School. I endured being called a nigger. I saw these beatings. My mom's soon-to-be husband got murdered. I saw all these things. I saw a little kid's head get ran over. All these things I endured alone. I had to remind myself of the strength and the power that I have, that it's in me. It's just a reminder of how badass you are in hard times, because we just forget that bad time consumes our mind, and we forget who we are. So I had to get down to the actual mineral soil of who I was, and that's when you can start real growth.
And what is the role that suffering plays in that, or the willingness to suffer?
It starts to peel all those layers away, all those artificial layers away. If you're willing to suffer and go back in the grind, that internal dialogue you have with yourself when you're in misery and you're uncomfortable, it's a real, scary, unfiltered, no lying dialogue between you and yourself. And people know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about when you're in a bad spot in life and your mind is saying all kind of shit. That's who you really are. That's the real you. No Rocky Balboa moments going on up there. You're like, hey, it's round 14. Let's come on. We got this. No, it's like, fuck this. I'm out of here, man. This is crazy. That's where the growth happens. When you're able to stay in that moment and talk yourself back into the suck of whatever you're going through, and you start stripping those layers away. But as you're stripping those layers away, you're building calluses over top of shit in your mind. That's where the growth starts to happen, is when you have to force yourself to stay in it. You can't leave it. It was important for me to finally realize, stop being all these fake people I used to be, stop being afraid. There was no growth until I cut myself down to nothing, to the person I really was, the real human being. And once I found out who I really was, that's when I started growing. I was trying to build on top of a lied, fucked up foundation. You can't build a house on a fucked up foundation. I know what darkness looks like. I know what it feels like to be alone with no motivation, no drive, no passion. And what has to come out of your fucking soul in the darkest of times is what you just did right there. So that's what I do. So people always, like, for the first 20-some years of my life, it was just darkness. But if you are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no shit, and still get up with that kind of fire, you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that. If you can't answer the questions your brain's asking you, you quit. If you have the answers to those questions of why the hell am I out here, and you give it a quick answer, the brain starts shutting up because it knows why we're doing what we're doing. I started figuring these things out in my life. So we have this governor on our brain, and how you start pushing past that governor, start realizing your brain has a tactical advantage over you. Why? Because it knows your insecurities. It knows when you're lying. It knows your fears. It knows everything about you. And whenever those things start, like right now, I'm scared to death up here. Why? When I was in 6th grade, I was in a play. And I stood in front of a whole bunch of white people that probably didn't, I was being judged in my mind. Scared the shit out of me. And I stuttered severely bad. I knew I stuttered bad. My line was this long. It was like hello or some shit. And I stood up for everybody. I was like this. And I walked off stage. So when I walk up in front of 1,200 people, it's still there. My mind's telling me, go, run off the stage. I have to tell my mind something different. I have to remember my resume, what I've been through. First of all, what you guys gotta understand, guys and gals gotta understand, is that I keep it real. I'm not superhuman. I'm definitely not Superman. So when I talk to you all, understand, these are the things that I had to tell myself. So, a lot of people come up here and start talking to you and they think they have all the damn answers and they kind of talk down on people. No. I know exactly what it feels like to be lost, to want to quit every day of your life. And that's kind of what created me. So on my bad days, that's where all this taking souls and comes from. So on my bad days, I had to imagine a false reality. So for me, for instance, I was 300 pounds. A lot of you guys know my backstory. And a black kid, I was the only 36th African-American Navy SEAL in over 80 years. So think about this though. Think about how I wanted to quit. I was afraid of water. My favorite meal was chocolate milkshakes with chocolate donuts. I didn't run, and I was afraid of water, and I was 300 pounds. And I have a pipe dream of going to go be a Navy SEAL. Yeah, exactly. You should be laughing. Every morning I woke up, and I had less than 3 months to lose 106 pounds to get into the Navy. Every morning I woke up, I wanted to quit. During runs, I quit. During my diet, I quit. During swims, I quit. I quit every single day during this 2.5 months. But at the end of the day, what kept me going was I saw a video of 18 men graduating from Navy SEALs training. And all I thought about was, what if my black ass can be up there on that fucking stage one day and I can pull off this fucking miracle that no one saw. There wasn't no fucking social media. There wasn't no watch David Goggins lose 106 pounds in 2.5 months. There wasn't no, diet plan and shit. No, there was nothing. No one saw it. My mom, she's here in the audience right now. She saw it, and she's the only one that saw the transformation. But I knew it. I saw it. The whole accountability mirror that I talk about and can't hurt me. Every morning I woke up, I had a real conversation with that dirty mirror. And every day, the same answer came back to me. Do you want to be on your deathbed knowing that you could, but you didn't? And so every day I kept saying that. And before I knew it, 2.5 months later, I lost the weight and I was going to Navy SEAL training. For a period of time, looking in that mirror every day, you can't lie to yourself, man. That dirty bathroom mirror that with all that daggone toothpaste scum and whatever on it, it's telling you the truth. It's saying, hey man, you are a jacked up cat. And a lot of us have this voice in our head. We all know that voice in our head that tells us the truth every single day that we try to run away from, that says we're scared of this, let's go this way. It started gnawing at me so horribly bad that it wouldn't allow me to live anymore without facing me. I had to go back in the dungeon. So when I tell my story, I tell it on a very surface level. I had to go down in the dungeon, the sewer where my mind used to be at, and talk to that guy. Because I wanted to live my life in a way that when I died, I was proud of myself. I know what pride felt like. And if it took pushing myself to death, I was willing to do that. But I wanted to look in that mirror, not impress anybody, not money, not fame, not nothing. I wanted to impress the guy in the daggone mirror. And I worked endlessly and tirelessly to do that. And it happened. I was depressed and food felt good. So I'm driving home, sipping my shake, eating my donuts, chilling out, listening to the radio. I get home this day, my routine was to get home, walk in the door, turn the TV on, walk in the back, start taking a shower. This particular day, the TV came on, and they said, world's toughest training, Navy, whatever. Get my towel, which could barely fit me. My ass was so big, I had to pinch it like this. So I come back down, I sit down, and all this shit just falls out. So I'm watching TV, and I'm like, my God, man, those guys are f***ing nuts. Carrying boats and logs, guys going through SEAL training. And wet and sandy, getting cold, jackhammers, snot bubbles, chafed up, guys ringing the bell, just quitting left and right. At the end of the show, this commanding officer comes up at graduation. There's 22 guys that made it through. And the commanding officer says, we live in a world where mediocrity is often rewarded. These men detest mediocrity. And I sat there and I had time to reflect back on my life. Being bullied, coming from nothing, learning disability, messed up foundation. Life isn't fair at all. At all. So what are you gonna do about it? I knew that no one was coming back to help me. No one was gonna miracle me to be somebody special. Everybody that called me nigger, my dad, my mom, all my situations were on me now. It's solely on me. So I had to start developing an indestructible mental toolbox. So I sat there on that couch and I realized, man, I am a piece of shit. And even though the world helped me get here, my false reality helped me even more. And listening to somebody else's dialogue further helped me get here. So I sat there and I had this bright idea, being 297 pounds, to go be a Navy SEAL. So the bright idea happens, 297, I watched this show, I finished my chocolate milkshake, and I said I'm gonna be a Navy SEAL. What is your biggest fear? Why are you paralyzed? What makes you nervous to just go out there and just be who you are and do what you have to do? I want to see one hand raised up to answer this question. You in the front. What is it? Past experience. So failures. Okay, that's the perfect answer. And we did not set this up. So everybody asked me, how the hell did I become successful when abused mindset, toxic stress, couldn't read and write, fat, name it, sickle cell. I can't even be in the military nowadays with sickle cell. How the hell did I become successful when I had no passion, no drive, no nothing? And I'm gonna answer your question about what are you afraid of, right? You said failure. Everybody's afraid of failure. It's embarrassing as shit. So how do you think I became successful when I failed every day of my life until I succeeded, which took a long time? The first thing I did was all of you in this room want to be successful as hell. But the journey to success comes with a lot of what? Failure. So why the f don't you teach yourself, like I taught myself, is how to fail properly. It's not saying be a failure. When I was 300 pounds, people think, oh, you really thought you could be a Navy SEAL? No, I just gonna fucking lose the weight. But what it was how I was able to get over all the failure and all the embarrassment of failing was I told myself, you are gonna have to learn how to get up extremely fast because you are gonna have a million setbacks on this journey. And that's how I literally taught myself how to fail first. Because I knew that if I was afraid of failure, I would have never been able to be a Navy SEAL. I would have never been able to get to where I'm at today. So I went through, and I literally at 300 pounds, or 297 to be exact, I sat back and I visualized how this journey is going to look. In the first several months was nothing but failure. So how am I going to get up the next morning when I failed the day before? How am I going to eat this meal when I failed and I got fries and a milkshake again when I was supposed to get grilled chicken and rice? So I went through and I taught myself how to fail. And when you do that, you're able to get up extremely fast and you no longer care about the end result, because you know, if I want to be way up here, it's going to take a bunch of small micro failures along the way. But you have to understand that that is part of the process. When you want to achieve the highest goal of all time, you are going to have to learn how to get your ass kicked all the way up that damn mountain. And then when you get up the mountain, the oxygen up there is very thin. It's hard to breathe. So it's not a lot of fun up there either. So all the way, if you want to be successful, you got the bottom that sucks, the middle is extremely hard, and the top, it sucks worse than all of it. So you better learn how to get the oxygen to the very top. So why do you care about what people are thinking when they're not trying to go where the you're trying to go? And that's the whole moral of the story.
Thanks for watching. Your support means a lot. Please like, subscribe, and see you in the next video.